What's up there, guys? Paddy Stash back with another fresh video, except this one's a little bit different because I got a camcorder now. Instead of using my Twitter, I plan to make more in-depth videos. But just, to be real quick, I just kind of want to explain who I am, where I came from, what experience I have, and how I can apply it to cryptocurrencies. But basically, long story short, I made my first investment in 1996. I bought a penny, well, not a penny stock, it was $1. This company called Vaso Medical, they did a 3-year study that turned out to be very favorable. So the price went from $1 to $14. When I was at work, I was working as a bartender. I remember watching the CNBC ticker. The price went from $1 to $2 to $3 to $4, and over the course of like 3 days, it went from $1 to $14. So I ended up selling out at 12, made 12,000 bucks, used that money to buy my first car, and basically that's what got me into trading, and this happened in 1996. So since that time, I started doing a lot of research on my own. I used to go to stockcharts.com. They've got a part of their site called Chart School, where it teaches you everything you need to know about technical analysis. Like, even if you're trading on technical analysis with stocks, cryptos, anything, I recommend going to that site because they got a lot of great information, and that's what I used. So all the free time I had, I basically started reading, studying up on technical analysis and how it could be applied. Then I started getting more into the fundamentals of things. I started researching different companies, quarterly reports, and I started figuring out why these companies were valued at these certain prices and how it could be applied to the stock. So with that experience, I started getting much more involved with trading. I ended up doing it full time for a couple of years, and then I got a job working at a hedge fund. This was a hedge fund that basically was a small hedge fund. We were about $100 million in assets under management, which, in comparison is extremely small. But what we did is we worked with a lot of small companies, usually micro caps, nano caps, small caps, anything with a market cap of under 200 million or 250 million usually. What I would do is I'd contact the C-levels of the company. My job was to basically negotiate deals with them so that we give them equity in exchange for shares at a discount to market. It's called equity financing. So many of these companies would dilute the market, and more times than not it would affect the price, so that it's a simple supply and demand situation where if there's more supply, the demand goes down, so the prices would drop. And a lot of these companies weren't really, they didn't sustain. So I didn't really care for that business all that much, but I gained a ton of knowledge doing it. So I started applying technical and fundamental analysis to trading stocks and options. When I wasn't working full time, I've always traded on the side. It's been something that I've done since I was in high school back in 1996. I paid my way through college with the money that I made trading stocks. I've had some serious highs, I've had some serious lows. I've made more money in one day trading with my own money than a successful person would make in 1 year, but I've also given a ton of that money back making stupid mistakes. But if it wasn't for the mistakes that I made, I would never have learned. And a lot of people don't get that. They get discouraged by making mistakes. You cannot get discouraged by making your mistakes. You need to learn from them. And if you make that mistake, it's understandable. If you make the mistake again, but the third time, you will not make that mistake again. So the longer you're able to stay in the game and not make these mistakes, the better you'll be over the longer period of time. So I've been trading now since 1996, so it's been 20 years now that I've been trading. So what I do is I apply the experience that I have trading stocks and options to cryptocurrencies, and it just so happens that it's been working out perfectly for me because a lot of crypto is speculative. And basically what I'm saying is many of these companies are not generating any revenue right now. So you really can't calculate the worth if you don't know what they're making. So what people do is they look at the project, they see who's involved, they see what the project is about, and you can kind of estimate or speculate what you think will happen. And so that's pretty much all cryptocurrencies are. So you've got a lot of people that trade on strictly technical analysis, you've got a lot of people that trade on strictly fundamental analysis, but my whole MO is market perception, in a sense, market sentiment. Now, what I mean by that is, if my whole goal is to find a project that has a specific number of these requirements that I have come up with myself, I'll do that in another video. I'll get in more detail, but it's got to have a specific looking chart. It's got to have a specific supply. It's got to have, a good team. It's got to have a good idea. Now, if I take these, 10 to 12 different little components and put them together, and this particular project meets that criteria, that's probably a coin that I want to buy. And usually, my whole goal is to get in before everyone else does. I'm not going to be chasing a coin that's already up 100%. There are situations where I might do that, but for the most part, what I do is I'm buying when no one else is talking about the coin. I'll accumulate a position, and so I'll sit around and I'll wait. And then when it's finally time, or this coin starts kind of getting some traction, by the time it could be up 100% already, I'm sitting on 100% gains, and now people are just starting to find out about it. So as the price continues to go higher, I'm slowly leaking out of my position. I tell people I'm a ninja when I trade, because I'm not going to be putting these massive blocks up to buy or to sell. I do it in small little increments that pretty much goes unnoticed. And that's what people should do, but a lot of people don't understand that, the whole process. So that kind of gets me into what I wanted to talk about right now, which is protecting yourself and selling out of your initial investment so that you can't lose. I had no idea, but there are so many people in crypto that are not aware of this. I talk about it all the time. On my tweets, I'm always saying, make sure you're locking in profits, blah, 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 blah. Perfect example, PCN. I know people that bought PCN at less than 1 Satoshi. It went all the way up to 20 Satoshi. They probably made 50 times their money, and yet somehow they have nothing to show, because they held on to every single one of those coins, and then it shit the bed. And all that money, all those potential profits that they had, are now gone because they didn't protect themselves. They didn't lock in their potential or their initial investment. So now what I mean by this is, just to kind of give you an example, if you were to buy a cryptocurrency that's trading at $1 and you put $5,000 in it, okay? And some good news comes out over the course of the next couple days. It goes from $1 to $2. Your $5,000 investment is now worth $10,000, okay? So what you want to be doing, or you can do it any way you want, but this is my process of how I do it, and this is what I've been doing for years and years, and it works for me. So if I'm up 100% on my investment, what I'll do is I'll sell half of my position, so that my initial $5,000 investment that's now worth $10,000, I'll take half off the table. So boom, that initial investment that I put in is now locked in my pocket. So no matter what happens with that cryptocurrency, you'll never lose money. And this is what people need to be doing, but the problem is there's so many inexperienced traders in cryptocurrencies that most of them just want to hit a home run every single time. So they want to hold on to every single share that they've, or coin that they've got, to get the maximum amount out of it. Now that's great and all if you can hit a home run every single time, but that's not reality. You have to trade off statistical analysis. What is the most beneficial for you consistently? If you make a trade that is winning 51% of the time, you're never going to lose. So you always have to be locking in your profits. Even if it's a small profit, it's still a profit. You could take that knowledge from that particular trade and apply it to another trade, but just scale it up. So if you lock in that $5,000, I still have $5,000 in that coin. Now, if the thing goes to the freaking moon, I can make a ton of money still. Granted, if I had the initial position size, which would have been twice as big, I could have made a lot more money, but that's a risk that's not worth taking. Everything is a calculated risk in cryptocurrency. You're always assessing risk. That's all I do, is assess risk. There's even times where a trade that I will make is not how much money can I make on this trade, it's if I lose, how much can I lose? If I make a trade on this one and I lose, I'll lose 10%. If I make a trade on this one, I could potentially lose, I'll lose 20%. I'm going to go for the one that has the smaller percentage risk, so that if it goes higher, my chances are better to make money. So the most important thing, lock in profits. Lock in profits. You'll never lose if you're locking in profits. I can't stress this enough. Not enough people in crypto understand this, because so many people are inexperienced in crypto because they basically came into this market thinking, oh, I'm just going to put money in something and I'm going to make money. That reality is not the case right now. It was the case for almost 2 straight years, but now things are different. It's a bear market. My whole goal right now is to just basically sustain, which is what I'm doing. I'm actually having a lot of success trading the way I'm trading, even in this shit market. So I can't wait for the bull market to come back, because when it does, I know I'm going to just multiply what I'm doing right now. So I'm just keep on going through what I'm doing right now, making small gain here, small gain here. Those small gains accumulate over time. That's the game. You need to think of things on a macro scale, not on a micro scale. One big home run is great, but it's not going to happen all the time. You need to take that into your consideration and say, hey, if I make 10 trades and one of them's a home run, over the period of time, is that better than taking 10 trades and hitting 10 singles? So you got to think of it different ways. You need to protect yourself. That's kind of the point that I'm trying to get across in this video. But anyway, I just wanted to make an introduction of who I am, the experience that I have, and I want to take you guys on a journey with me, because I absolutely love doing this, and the feedback that I get makes it even more exciting for me, because the feedback I get is always so positive, because I think that people understand that my goal is to try to help people, try to educate people. I said something on my Twitter today, to be a winner, there's got to be a loser. So I want you guys and myself to be the winners on all these trades, and anyone that's not following me will be the losers, because there's 2 parts to every trade, and if you're constantly winning, like I say, 51% of the time, then you're not going to lose. So that's the goal. That's what I want to help you guys with. I'm going to start making more videos of different types of trading that I do. I might be doing some day trading on BitMEX. I might be doing swing trading. I might be doing some investing. There's so many different ways to make money, and I want to start making videos kind of detailing the different ways that I do it. And I want feedback from you guys, because not only am I going to make videos about how to trade, how to invest, but I also want to start doing more, profiling of coins. There's so many coins out there that I absolutely love, that I just have done so much research on, and I feel so confident as an investment into those companies. Just because right now there's no volume in them, or the volume's real low, that shouldn't affect your overall perception of that coin, because if you believe in the fundamentals and it's got all these components of the coins that I look for, then I feel pretty confident. So that's my story today. That's my video. I'll continue to make new videos in the future, but I just wanted to make an introduction of who I am and kind of give you guys a real quick education on locking in your investment and protecting yourself so that you don't lose money down the road. So that's all I got today. I'll make another video soon. Cool.